back to her brilliant best. At other times, it all got a little nervy for Fernandez, but I tell you what, she'd have taken that at the start of the match, a straight sets win against a tough opponent in Alexandra Eala. First set, on fire. Second
match, and suddenly you're down, love 30 at 5-4. What changed?
Honestly, it's what my coach told me. I'd love 30, 5-4. He said, you know, she's not gonna go down easy, as you can see. So she's gonna fight. You're gonna have to take the match. So I was glad that I trusted him, and I just trusted the training that we've done. So happy to get the win here.
Overall, I thought you played an absolutely terrific match. How would you rate your performance from 1 to 10?
Oh, it was definitely a very, very high performance. I'd say a 7 out of 10. It was 8, 9 out of 10 until the 6-1-5-2. But, you know, there's always that little lapse of concentration. I'm just glad that I stayed positive as much as possible. And, of course, the crowd helped me. So, dankeschön.
You are a lefty, she's a lefty. You were playing in blue, she was playing in blue. You like to play fast, she likes to play fast. Was it almost like playing a mirror image of yourself?
Oh man, 100%. I mean, I remember watching her play a couple years back at the Rafa Nadal Academy, and she was playing super fast. And I remember telling my coach at the time, saying like, "Wow, she plays quick." Yeah. So it was like a mirror, because you said, "Look, it's exactly like you." So just enjoy, figure it out, and have fun.
We're talking about playing fast. Are you somebody that likes to do things fast on the court or generally in life?
Stop whatever you are doing right now. Drop everything, because what I am about to tell you is going to completely change the way you look at the dark, brutal, and unforgiving reality of professional tennis. In the past few hours, right in the heart of the Stuttgart Open in Germany, we witnessed one of the most painful, heartbreaking, and emotionally shattering moments in the career of a young prodigy who carries the hopes of an entire nation on her shoulders. We are not just talking about a standard run-of-the-mill tennis match in the round of 32. We are talking about a complete emotional collapse. Hot, stinging tears streaming down a player's face in front of thousands of people and millions of cameras. A moment that makes you violently aware of just how vicious and merciless this individual sport truly is. Alexandra Eala, the Filipino teenage sensation, stepped onto the court to replace Jen Chinwin, only to crash headfirst into an absolute living nightmare named Leylah Fernandez. Welcome back to Tennis Pro, the only channel on YouTube giving you the unfiltered truth. Buckle up, because this story is going to break your heart. To truly understand the absolute gravity of what happened on that court, we have to look past the scoreboard. We have to paint the terrifying picture of the physical and mental suffocating pressure that was crushing Alexandra Eala. Because if you do not understand the context, you will never understand the tears that broke the internet today. Imagine the scenario. You are an incredibly young, highly touted prospect. You get a sudden last-minute call-up to play in the main draw of one of the most prestigious high-stakes indoor clay court tournaments on the planet. And Alexandra Eala knew exactly what she was walking into. She knew that her historical track record on clay courts was her absolute glaring fatal flaw. Her record on the dirt in recent seasons was a dismal 5 wins and 13 losses. Red clay is the most brutal, exhausting, leg-destroying surface in the history of racket sports. It absorbs the pace of the ball. It artificially extends the rallies to agonizing lengths. And it demands supernatural physical conditioning and absolutely ruthless tactical patience. Wayne, and who is standing on the completely opposite side of the net, Leylah Fernandez, a former U.S. Open finalist, a top 25 player in the world, a player who operates with a level of frantic, relentless energy and sheer tactical aggression that simply breaks her opponents down mentally before she ever breaks them physically. From the very first serve of the match, the discrepancy in level and comfort on the surface was absolutely terrifying. Leylah Fernandez did not just step onto the court to win a tennis match and advance to the next round. She stepped onto the court to send a brutal, uncompromising message. The first set ended in a blinding flash, 6-1. It was an absolute tactical suffocation. Fernandez took the ball incredibly early, robbing Eala of the one thing you desperately need on a clay court: time. Eala was fighting. She was sprinting frantically from corner to corner, sliding on the red dirt, trying with every single ounce of her being to find her rhythm, to find a tiny crack in the Canadian's armor. But Fernandez was an impenetrable concrete wall. Break after break after break, Fernandez ruthlessly targeted Aya's weaker second serve, stepping inside the baseline and punishing the ball with absolute malice. And then came the second set. The scoreboard flashed 5-2 in favor of Fernandez. And right there, in that exact moment, the sequence happened that completely shattered the hearts of tennis fans around the globe. The broadcast camera zoomed in tightly on Alexandra Eala's face. You could see her features completely crumble, her eyes filled with heavy, uncontrollable tears. She was crying right there on the baseline. But those were not just tears of losing. Those were the tears of absolute paralyzing frustration. The tears of a warrior who feels completely and utterly helpless against an opponent who has stripped away all her weapons and left her with absolutely no room to breathe. But let me be honest with you, and here on Props Teen, a tennis pro, we only deal with the brutal truth. This isn't about tennis anymore. This is about pure, unadulterated psychological warfare and mental health. This is about the terrifying silent battle that these young athletes fight every single time they step onto the professional stage. The casual fans watching at home only see the massive prize money, the glamorous trophies, the Rolex sponsorships, and the beautiful stadiums. But what nobody sees is the absolute deafening silence and isolation of the locker room after a humiliating defeat. The crushing, suffocating weight of representing an entire country that expects you to be perfect every single time you swing a racket. Alexandra Eala cried with such deep sorrow because she felt like she had let herself down. She felt physically and tactically paralyzed. In a team sport, if you were having a terrible night, your point guard can carry the load. Your defense can cover your mistakes. You can go to the bench and hide. But in professional tennis, you are naked in the middle of a hurricane. There is nowhere to hide. There is no coach to call a timeout to save you. It is just you, your racket, and a scoreboard that is mercilessly counting your failures for the whole world to see. And Leylah Fernandez, she showed absolutely zero sporting mercy.
Why?
Because the WTA Tour is a jungle. And if you show mercy, you get eaten alive. Fernandez has faced her own brutal share of injuries, heartbreaking losses, and ranking drops over the past few seasons. She knows exactly how fast the media turns on you. She recognized a wounded opponent. She saw the vulnerability in Eala's eyes, and she pressed her foot directly onto the gas pedal. That is not cruelty. That is the elite cutthroat mentality required to be a Grand Slam finalist. You do not apologize for destroying your opponent's weaknesses. You exploit them until the umpire calls the match. But I have a very specific message for every single person on social media who is looking at this crushing defeat as the end of the road. A message for anyone who dares to diminish Alexandra Eala after today. You know absolutely nothing about the mindset of a generational champion. Those hot stinging tears that she shed on the red clay of Stuttgart are not a symbol of weakness. They are not a sign of surrender. They are the absolute premium nuclear fuel that is going to ignite the next decade of her career. Every single legend in the history of this sport has been completely humiliated, crushed, and brought to tears on the dirt before they learned how to conquer it. Rafael Nadal lost matches. Roger Federer was reduced to tears. It is a rite of passage. Alexandra Eala is not going to let a 6,152 score line break her spirit permanently. She's going to take this embarrassment, bottle it up, and carry it with her into the lab. She's going to go back to the practice courts tomorrow morning. She's going to hit 10,000-second serves until her arm feels like it is going to fall off. She is going to learn how to slide into the corners on the red clay until her shoes are completely worn through. She is going to learn exactly how to convert this devastating, highly public mental breakdown into pure, aggressive, positive anger on the court. This brutal loss, these tears that the entire world just witnessed. This is exactly the concrete foundation upon which future Grand Slam champions are built. You cannot know how to win on the biggest stages until you completely understand the agonizing, soul-crushing pain of losing on them. The match is over. Leylah Fernandez secured her victory and advanced to the next round absolutely fully deserved. Her experience, her footwork, and her ruthless tactical execution were a masterclass in clay court tennis. But let us be very clear. The real story of today is not the Canadian advancing. The real defining story is the brutally painful, unforgettable lesson that a young, fierce Filipino fighter just absorbed. Professional tennis is a violent storm. It does not care about your potential. It does not care about your feelings. And it certainly does not care about your tears. Alexandra Eala walked directly into a Category 5 hurricane today. And yes, she cried.
She broke down.
She showed her humanity. But mark my words, and mark them very carefully. Tomorrow, she will not be the one crying. Tomorrow, Alexandra Eala will be the hurricane. She will be the storm that destroys the rest of the tour. That is it for today's deep analytical breakdown right here on Terrence Tennis Pro. If you felt the absolute pain of this loss and you respect the blood, sweat, and tears that Alexandra Eala left on that court today, I need you to absolutely destroy that like button right now to show her some support. Drop your boldest, most unfiltered prediction in the comments section below. Will Alexandra Eala use this heartbreak to come back stronger and become a top 10 player in the world? How far will Leylah Fernandez go in this tournament? I want to see a massive debate in the comments. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell because right here on Tennis Pro, we are covering the deepest, most intense stories in the tennis world that the mainstream media is too afraid to touch. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.